Review. Think we're good. Let's do this. And we are live. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to another episode of What's in the News, featuring your boys, me, Poonsauce Mcnasty, and my brother from another mother, Sean Typhon, the Angry Hippie. How is everybody doing? Let's get the chat filled up a little bit. Make sure everybody's getting notifications that we are live. Get people coming in to hang out for a little bit. We're kind of going to take it a little easy today. It's been an eventful kind of week so far. We've been either been shit happening to us or fucking just busy and just want to just kind of keep it a little bit chill. Still going to have some topics to talk about today. A bunch of things going on, a bunch of little articles.
Still a lot in the news.
Yep,
still a lot in the news.
Some articles came out in the past week that we definitely want to discuss a little bit. There's actually something going on right now that is going on, which we're going to touch on just a little bit. We're going to save that mostly for next week's show, which is pretty much we're going to break down what is happening right now. If you guys don't know about it already, we'll just kind of lightly go into it.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on. It's becoming a pretty hectic world if you're into vaping, and I'll tell you what, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't deeply concerned. Yeah. Pretty sure everybody watching watched the Ohmies, so obviously people I don't know by now, I'm definitely starting to sweat because their flavor ban's knocking on our door here in Massachusetts. So I mean, it's Prohibition Fever, guys. They're going hard, and matter of fact, I even heard it referred to as Prohibition today. Yeah. So that just furthers the point. It's Prohibition Fever now, and it's getting pretty serious. So we're gonna we're gonna dive more into that in a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So why don't we go with what the buffets are? Actually, I'll start it off today.
Yeah, kick it off.
We'll switch it off. So today, this thing's already starting to get a little bit patina, and I got to do a little bit of polishing to her because she's coming with me to MVE. I got my transistor Brizzo with my APOC 25 on there, Gator Board drip tip, and I believe these are some AJ Holland coils in there. Make some killer coils. I think these are I don't know if they're this. I think there's quad cores. I think the .11s. I think. Yeah.
He's a savage. I love it.
Yeah, AJ's a cool dude. A really cool dude.
Shout out to AJ Holland.
Yeah, he's a great guy. Great guy. Him and Irby are like fucking both great people. And
Couple
inside of there, I got some big shout out to Independent Vapor Company. I got some Millionaire Mango. Super steep. Like I got this, I would at least say a year ago at least. And I'm just opening it like within like the last week.
That's dedication, sir. That is dedication.
I like steeping my stuff a little bit, probably because I end up having so much juice to where some of the newer stuff I got at the time end up had no choice to be steeped because I was trying to get their older stuff, and so then over time the new stuff becomes that old stuff. So What can you do? And then next I got my stacked Purge truck with the Goon 1.5 on top of there. I don't remember whose coils in there. I think these are some of Shane big boy coils in there. Big shout out to Shane over in the UK. Great dude, makes some great coils. And inside of there I got my homage to Aziz, because even though he hasn't been on the Ohmies in a while and he's been hanging out with us in a little bit in Discord and everything, I kind of need to have my little slice of Aziz with me at all times. So in there I got some Surf Satisfying.
Oh yeah.
Aziz, if you're watching this is for you, buddy. Miss ya. We're all wanting you back on the Ohmies, so you better be back soon. We miss you. And then finally, this has been like my go with me everywhere vape lately. I don't know, it's just The setup is just my ideal kind of vape right now. I got the black electroplated Dreamer copper with the Rebirth RTA on top. I got some I think these are Macy band build aliens in here, which of course you know they're gonna be rocking because it's Macy and she can do no wrong when it comes to building coils. And inside of there, the main thing I'm really excited about because that's up. I got some new yesterday. I was over at the transistor warehouse helping them kind of unload a $70,000 20-foot printer. We can go into that a little bit and that's kind of how that story came about and a little bit of experiences that went through with that. But inside of there, I got some Pango. It's their new juice that just came out, I believe, like a week or two ago. You can start seeing it on retailers online, like eJuice Direct and all that stuff. I know OPMH carries it. So if you're a shop owner or somebody that works at a shop, if you want a distro that you can get transistor in, hit up OPMH. They have great distro prices, and they're great people. I would love to show my support to them because they deserve it. So yeah, Pango. It's a pineapple mango, so it's like the perfect summer vape right now, and it's just delicious. Inside this Rebirth, I mean, I don't think this Rebirth can make any. I think this if you made a shoe into an e-juice, I feel like this Rebirth could make it freaking taste good.
Well,
because that's how good this RTA is. This is like changed my entire opinion on RTAs. I'm speechless on it. Like at the beginning of the year, I made it to where I wanted to start getting into RTAs more. And then, so like my first pickup was the gear, and after I had messed with how I wicked it, I finally got to the point where I knew what to do to make the flavor gun on that thing, and it's great. The flavor is great on the gear. I got the Wasp Nano RTA, which is great in its own way. It's just smaller juice capacity. It's kind of like the gear, just different shape. It's just the build decks. I would say it's a little bit more simple than the gear, but this Rebirth RTA changed every expectation I've ever had out of an RTA and just raised the bar that much higher. So it's just like, I honestly feel like I need more. Like at least I have to have, at least in my rotation, I at least have, this is probably going to be a topper that's going to be in like any of my rotations going anywhere.
Wow.
That's
a strong cosign.
That's how much I enjoy this RTA. So guys, if you do not have a Rebirth RTA, I highly, highly recommend getting one. Wicking is easy. The flavor is fucking phenomenal. And for the price point, it wasn't like $35, I think.
Something like that.
I mean, really, you can't go wrong.
Right.
For something that performs that good. Like how Grim always says that he put this up against any like RDA he has. Or something where it's like something that's just as good as something that new just came out. I would say this is still kind of, it's not 100% new, but it's still out there in the world to where, okay, people are still looking to get their hands on it. So I highly, highly recommend anybody who hasn't picked up a Rebirth RTA yet to do it whenever you have the opportunity. You will not regret it. And it's just phenomenal RTA.
Sold me on it. I'm buying one tomorrow.
There you go. On that note, Sean, what are you vaping on, man?
Well, not a Rebirth yet, so anyhow, what's going on, everybody? Fun to be, good time to bev out. Wow. All right, so first, let's start with this. If I seem off tonight, might notice I'm not in chat today. I took a pretty mean blow to the head today at work. I probably have a minor concussion from it, so I'm trying to take it easy. And I'm really trying to just slow myself down. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting night.
Angry Hippie is going to be the laid back hippie today.
Yeah, I have to really tone myself down today. I work at a quick lube shop and smashed my head on a drain pan, and yeah, it was pretty rough.
Might have peed a little, but hey.
I mean, I'm genuinely glad that like there was no blood. You know, I have thanks to this massive dreadlocks on the top of my head and a bandana to keep them in place. I have a pretty good
pretty
bump
much
cap.
had your own airbag.
Yeah, I have a pretty good starter for a bump cap. That being said, there isn't a bump cap in our shop big enough to fit my head with the dreads. So,
There you go.
I smashed my head. But anyway, let me hit the focus button like I often do. Slam. You guys ought to recognize this, right? Green aluminum dreamer and an ardent. Pretty great combo. If you don't have this combo in your life, it doesn't have to be green. It could be any color. It could be the copper dreamer, any of that. But if you don't have an ardent dreamer combo going, I don't know what you're doing with yourself right now. Even in stack, this thing is a beast in stack.
I mean, the dreamer is such a bad mech. It really is.
For real, right?
It's awful.
And then, of course, if you don't have DHD drip tips in your collection, I mean, there's some great drip tip makers out there. But Double Helix Designs, she's got some very fantastic acrylics. This right here, that's the Get Off My Lawn from the Summer Series.
Huge shout out to Jess. She's a great person.
Great work. Her eye for color and patterns is fantastic. And in honor of my friend Pooney here and his love for super steeped liquids, this is Beantown Reserved Soaked Custardy. This
it looks like it's going to soak up every last bit of clean cotton that you're going to...
This went into a bourbon barrel August 30th of 2017. Sat in that bourbon barrel for 6 months or more, got bottled. That is the end. Yeah, so that is a bourbon-aged bourbon custard. Fantastic. Shout out to my boys in Beantown Reserve and Beantown Vapor. I love those guys. Up next, the Micro. Everybody's been seeing me with this thing. It's my favorite squonk I own. Straight Mac, it's all I need with the GR1. Get Off My Lawn and the Micro tip. So if you guys are using a GR1, Micro tip fits perfectly flush inside your cap. It is a perfect tip for a GR1. Hits like a dream. Even with a dead battery, it's just ripping. And in that, 12 Monkeys Kanzi. It's strawberry, watermelon, and kiwi.
Ooh, that sounds like a really good summer vape.
Done really well. I'm not a big fruit guy, but I tend to keep the squonk loaded with a fruit because I like it on like low temps. Mm-hmm. And then lastly, it is Warlock Mods Wednesday, everybody. So if you guys aren't involved and don't know what I mean, check out the Gathering Vapor and get yourself a Warlocks mod. This here is a Warlocks Hammer, dual parallel, 21700. This thing hits like Mike Tyson on bath salts, as the Vaping Bogan put it.
Also, with Warlock mods, if you guys haven't seen on Instagram or Facebook, since it is Amy Cloth's weekend of her birthday, Warlock Mods is doing a very special thing to where if you buy any Warlock mod, you're automatically getting $20 off. $20 off until I believe it's the 15th? 15th
oh, wow.
Or something like that.
That's
so $20 off either a Warlock's Hammer, a Guardian, an Ember, a Dagger.
There's so many options. It's insane. And
I mean, with the Warlock's Hammer, you can get it in series as well. There's so many options you have. So, guys, if you guys haven't picked up a Warlock's mod yet, highly recommend you guys taking advantage of this kind of little birthday celebration for Amy. So, Amy, Mark, hope you guys have a fantastic weekend celebrating Amy's birthday. Amy, if you're watching, have a great, great birthday. Hope everything, nothing but the best.
And we've celebrated with them, so we know they will be.
They're going to definitely have a good time.
Absolutely.
They're going to break into probably like 12 bottles of moonshine or something. I don't know.
Oh, good God, the moonshine. The moonshine. Let me tell you something about that moonshine.
Let me tell you about that moonshine right there.
I gotta get into my Beetlejuice voice and say, hey, you know what? If you're gonna drink some moonshine, I definitely recommend that you use this deep cut Psycho Cruller. You know what I mean, babe? This is the perfect vape to go with your moonshine. It's also fantastic for exercising the living. So make sure to get you some deep cut Psycho Cruller, and you too can exercise the living just like Beetlejuice. I guarantee it.
There you go.
That's it for me.
Okay. So why don't we kind of get into what's been going on this week with a little bit of newsy stuff. So I'm going to kind of get this out of the way, kind of give you guys a little hint of what we're going to be talking about next week. We're going to really dig deep into... Right now in California, there is a kind of a meeting going on, like a legislator meeting, to where there's a bill that's going to be passed. I believe it's AB...
Oh, God, yeah. I wish I could have committed that to memory.
Yeah, I thought it's... Livia, can you post a link to the... It's actually going to be posted live on their website, so if you have the opportunity to go back and watch that, I highly recommend it. There's a lot of stuff that can get a little ragey in there if you're well informed, or I would say either somewhat informed of what's going on to everything. So give that a watch. It'll kind of give you guys an idea of what we're going to talk about next week. And if you guys want to join in the conversation next week, I highly recommend it, because we're going to get deep. We're going to dig deep of what these people have said. We're going to kind of break down on what these legislators are saying. Yeah, AB 1639. Thank you, Labworks. See, he's not even in the damn country and he knows the bill. Labworks, big shout out to you, man. You're one of the good ones. You're not even in the same country as us, and he keeps track of all the legislations in the U.S. That just speaks for somebody's individual character. So
it's interesting to me, because I've done activism in other worlds, and vaping's activism vaping is still new, and so we don't have a huge number of people who can totally get behind our message yet. But it is startling that with the number of people who vape, there aren't that many that are prepared to actually do the activism side here. Yep. And that's the thing of it all now, is that we're in that situation where talking about things is a start, but we actually have to be making phone calls to representatives now and writing actual physical letters and trying to meet with these people, because the other simpler methods aren't effective for us, because we have to keep in mind that for them, vaping is low-hanging fruit. And for those who don't understand what that means, it's to say that it's the easiest thing to pick. Yeah. You know? And so it's real easy to pick on vaping, because it's this little thing that people think is so bad and have no interest in finding out the truth. So
that's all we're here for, guys, is we want to spread the truth of what's actually going on. We want to motivate people to do more, and hopefully words that we say kind of with our outlook on things can motivate you guys to go out there and do more. That's what we want. That's what we strive for. That's why we do this every week. We're not doing this for our own personal gain. We're doing this to help you guys. We're doing this to help the community, and don't take it for granted. Take advantage of it.
It's all, everything is easy. It's just feels overwhelming. That's one of the things that I try to remind people, is that it feels overwhelming to call your state representatives, and I understand that. But at the end of the day, they're people just like you and I. They could even live in your neighborhood in some cases. And sometimes that can actually make the difference. I know in New Hampshire, a friend of mine who works for one of the bigger vape labs making e-liquids, he met with his local representative as far as his actual town he lived in, and it turned out the guy lived like 2-3 houses down. Mm-hmm. And because of that common bond and commonality, they were able to create a open dialogue with each other. And he was able to actually sway his representative to not bring anti-vaping legislation into that town, and to at least help defend it where he could. And it can be that simple, guys. It really can.
And even if, even Labwork just put, write a written letter, it needs to be opened by at least someone. correct. That's definitely correct. And if you guys aren't comfortable with, say, calling a representative or actually going to meet with them, there's always things you can do in the community that can help this industry. We say it all the time, like how another big thing that needs to be done, besides people in the vape industry kind of getting involved, is those people as well talking to people that aren't involved in this industry. We need to change the public perspective of vaping as a whole to the people who don't vape, who don't smoke, because the image we have right now as a whole as an industry isn't good. They all think of us as vaping douchebags. They don't think that we're all just selfish a-holes who are only in it for ourselves and are only looking to do only looking to do this for our own personal gain and just to blow flat clouds. That's not what this is about. We're here as a community.
So they don't even think that at this point, and that's the crazy thing. A lot of our politicians, they don't understand that this is vaping. They don't understand that this is vaping. They don't understand that this is vaping. That doesn't compute to them. What they believe vaping is a bunch of kids huddled in a bathroom with a Juul, passing it around like a joint, and getting a nicotine buzz at 14. That's what they think vaping is. And when you can express how you've used this technology that is completely foreign to their concept of vapor to take yourself off of a combustible cigarette and completely replace it for several years and have your medical doctor who can back up improvements in your overall health as a result of this change, they begin to understand. And I know that a lot of people, like, to get back to the notion of writing a letter, a lot of people get overwhelmed by that idea. Go to the CASA website.
They have a platform.
Copy and paste their form letter into an actual document and print it. Like they've always encouraged, add a little bit of your story to it. Mm-hmm. And then print that. Print 25 copies. And once a week, mail that same letter to the same people.
Yep.
I mean, it can literally be that simple. And that's kind of the cool thing, right? Is like, it can literally be that simple and be twice as effective as sending the email. Mm-hmm. You're saying the exact same thing. You're giving them the exact same information in both forms, but the email's so easy to ignore. Paper letters pile up and take up space in an office. Like Poonsauce said, somebody has to open them. Somebody has to physically put their hands on that envelope, open it up, and see what it's about. And at that point, now you've got somebody's attention. You'd be surprised how many people on the anti-side are willing to write the letter.
If we got as many people that are for vaping and are in this industry doing that as much as the people that are anti-vaping and writing those letters that show them why they oppose vaping, to do that, we'd be probably in a way different situation than we are now. We'd be opening a lot more eyes. We'd probably be, if we had, I don't want to say passion, because a lot of the stuff for the people that are anti-vaping doesn't really, I guess it does show passion in a point, but it's not put in the right way. It's not put in the right form. It's a lot of misinformation they're trying to put into passion.
So this kind of bodes into something I've brought up before in different advocacy conversations, which is, we always have to bear in mind, we sound like fucking crazy people. You have to keep that in mind, because you're telling somebody that the government is lying to them about the dangers of this product.
It's a hard pill to swallow.
That is exactly. We are raised to believe that the authority figures have our best interests in mind. And it's a pretty hard shock to the system to have all of this evidence in your face, because let's face it, a lot of us that are, you know, that are tuning in today, we have the evidence. And, you know, sometimes it's hard to reel ourselves in because you want to be like, oh, you just started vaping. Well, check this out. Ba-bang, 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 ba-bang. And you can't do that. And that's the thing. We can definitely sound like an Alex Jones crazy person talking about conspiracies. And so there always has to be a balance. Mm-hmm. And a big, big part of that is actually this recent article that Danielle Jones has written. I think that is a fantastic tool that we can use just to put it in people's hands and say, here, just read this fantastic piece of journalism and understand a little bit better why we are so distrustful of the FDA, of Campaign for Tobacco-Free Children, of et cetera, ad nauseum. You know, if you guys aren't following her writing on vaping.com, this article that she called "The Corporate Wolf in Public Health's Clothing," this dissects that conspiracy theory aspect with all of the factual data you need. It's one of those things I urge everybody to go look at. There's a fantastic video clip in it from, what the hell is his name? I'm looking at it here real quick. It's from Peter Rost. He's the former vice president of Pfizer and the author of The Whistleblower, Confessions of a Healthcare Hitman. And in the clip, he explains the relationship between pharmaceutical companies and the science, air quotes, the science they use in this interview for One More Girl. It was a Kickstarter-funded documentary. But this is a man who literally, his job was to secure the bad science and to secure the funding for all of this to make their product look good and somebody else look bad.
I mean, if you look at this article, all the stuff that we've been saying with how it's like everything that's tinfoil hat kind of like that a normal person would say, oh, you're crazy for thinking this kind of thing. Everything that we've talked about that is out there, that some people were looking for actual physical evidence, this article gives you the links for all of that evidence. Every little study from Harvard to digging deep into where these pharmaceutical companies got some of their chemicals from, where Big Tobacco got some of their chemicals from. So all those thousands of harmful chemicals in cigarettes. Guess where they got those chemicals from? They got it from the pharmaceutical companies. There's a relationship there that a lot of the public are turning a blind eye to where it doesn't make sense, where they're trying to get rid of an industry that has helped so many people, and they're trying to keep an industry that is killing, I believe she said, within the next decade. Let me see, hold on, I believe it's within the next decade. Let's see, cigarettes are on track to kill 1 billion people by the end of this century. Let that sink in. 1 billion people.
That's with a B. I mean, that's
not a million, that's not 100,000, that's not in the hundreds, that's a billion.
That's 1,000 millions. That's intense, you know? And I mean, to go back in history, we had we had cannabis prohibition, and people don't actually realize that that stems from DuPont and the fact that they had a new solvent for paper and they wanted to shut down hemp. And so they worked out everything they needed with legislation and with other members of industry in order to push these petroleum-based products and get rid of this natural hemp products that were beating it in the market left and right. And here we are, not even 100 years later, because this was legislation from the 1930s. And here we are living it again with e-cigarettes. And I often draw these parallels because I see a very similar trajectory from the way that cannabis activism worked and the way that vapor activism needs to start to work. You know, we've been able to show that cannabis can be fun, it can be recreational, it can also be a health benefiting product for people, and that's where we need to be with vapor now. We need to be able to demonstrate that we can still be fun. Like, I am all for trickers and cloud comps. I'm all for that. We need to be able to do that because that's our right. But at the same time, we can also be honest and genuine and say, we're celebrating this technology because of its health benefits that we've received. You know, I have a coworker in my shop who didn't want to smoke cigarettes again. Vaping didn't exist when he quit cigarettes the first time. But he didn't want to go back to cigarettes. So he picked up a small little AO device and a 3 milligram liquid, and he can satisfy that urge that brings him relief and not cause the harm he was causing. And his nicotine intake, a 3 milligram e-liquid, is far less than what it would have been had he gone back to smoking cigarettes all these years later. So, once again, another moment where the benefit of vaping is there. I mean, I don't encourage people who have never smoked to vape. I don't think it's necessary.
No.
That being said, if you're at a crossroad in your life and you feel like smoking or vaping is going to be the thing that takes the edge off, God damn it, pick the vape up, please.
Yeah.
The science is there to show you that the smoking is deadly and the vaping is not nearly as dangerous. It's 2019. Why wouldn't you take that opportunity?
I mean, this is the age of technology, and the technology is there. This vaping is a pure, like a straight point of showing that technology can improve public health.
I mean, in that vein, another news topic.
Yeah.
We have vape shops opening in hospitals in the UK.
Yeah, we thought we'd kind of change things up a little bit by actually sharing some positive news that's happening in this
Yes.
industry. And what better way to show it than the UK, there's stuff they do with advocacy and how they're so for vaping. It gives me hope. Because
right.
That's what these countries are giving me more reason to do this than, like, countries like UK, like New Zealand. They're giving me reasons to keep doing this, keep speaking my voice on trying to get the public perspective in the US to change on vaping. Because if we all do the right thing, and if we stand up and make a change, this can happen here. It's the ball's in our court, guys. It's what we have. What time we have to do with it is what really matters. What we're choosing our time to do with it and try to make a change. And if we do everything that we can do in our hearts to make things like I know everybody in chat right now has somewhat of a great passion for vaping. Obviously, we've seen it countless of times. If they use that passion and used it in a positive outlook for the public, and just think about it. I would say maybe you could be 20 years, 30 years down the road. I would love to see this happen in my lifetime. Probably won't, but that's why I give hope to the future generations that we can open their eyes and see what is actually going on and possibly see this kind of thing happen here in the U.S. That would just be one of the most, have kind of the legislations that are happening in New Zealand and the UK to happen here, to happen to Australia. I mean, it's one of those things to where it would just, it's just one of those, I can't even put up the words to say it because
I know at the end of the day,
it feels like it's so far away from
right.
happening here because it seems like it's going in the exact opposite direction. But there's always that opportunity to take a stand, stop getting pushed back, and start pushing forward.
That's the foundation of what our system of government is built on, right? Government by the people, for the people. And a big part of that takes a well-educated and informed electorate. One of my favorite weird statistics I picked up in a news article at one point was that in our last election, if didn't vote had been an option for president, didn't vote would be our president because more people chose not to vote at all than decide between two devils they didn't like. And that shows our disinterest in this whole process. And rightfully so. I mean, good God, the next pair of Yeezys is going to come out, and so-and-so's got a hot album that just dropped, and your favorite show just dropped their whole season on Netflix. And I get it, there's so many things we want to do. But like I said before, they're going to come and they're going to take vaping, and we're not going to say anything. And then they're going to come and they're going to take away certain things in television, let's say, and we're not going to say anything.
I mean, the FCC already tried doing that.
I mean, Netflix, they're going to make sure that nothing shows smoking. I mean, this shows you our knee-jerk reaction in society now, that a show that takes place in the 1980s when everybody smoked and smoking was still considered fine and cool can't be factually accurate because we're being too sensitive. And it's a big part of it is because we're too distracted. We're too into the television and the phone and the social media, and not for good practical reasons, and we can change that, but we have to pick something to be fired up about. I like to say that I'm a single issue voter. And that's one of my lines I use on all my politicians. I'm a single issue voter. And if you don't side with my single issue that matters most to me, I don't vote for you. This is the hill I want to die on. Pardon the gruesome pun. But, vaping's the hill I'm going to friggin' die on. I don't care. I intend to go down fighting, and I will do what I have to do because it matters to me, and not because I enjoy it, but because of the benefits I received. I smoked for 15 years and had no way out, and then finally broke down and was like, dude, I know a couple guys that vape, and they seem to like it. Let me finally try it. And got into sub-ohm vaping and started to find my way out of smoking. So I'm a true believer now, just like everybody here. We found the vape community, and we found a family, and I'll fight for my family, point blank. I fight for my family. And that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to fight for what I believe in. And I believe in this technology. And I might lose this fight. That's fine. But at some point, we can turn this back around. You see, the UK were the first ones to figure out that, what was it? What was the disease? Was it the link to cancer? I can't remember if it was the link to cancer or the link to heart disease from smoking. And the US wouldn't accept it for years. And then finally enough science was in their face, they finally had to accept it. So we're getting enough science now. Now we have to put it in their face. And it can't just be 5 or 6 of us from here and 7 or 8 of us from over there. It has to be 500 or 600 of us from here and 10 or 12,000 over there and 15,000 over here, because there's strength in numbers. And the division game that we're struck with in the vape scene, it ain't helping. So we got to get over that. We got to get past all that. We can't keep beefing with this guy and that guy, and it's not worth it. It's petty and it's beyond us right now. Mm-hmm. Like, at this point, the troll game is over, and it's put up or shut up, and that's where we're at. Right? We're gonna put up. The UK is doing it. I mean,
put in the chat. It was the link to cancer via tar content.
See, there we go. There we go.
Thank you.
Once again, pinch hitting for us.
Damn right, man.
But that is how the process will work for eons and eons. And we can change that as long as we want to change it. And right now, we're probably outnumbering the antis, but there's just not enough of us that are involved. Mm-hmm. And all of those antis are. Let's think about it, right? Everybody knows nosy Edith Brown in the neighborhood, right? Little old lady sticking her nose in the window, seeing what's going on as everybody walks by. We all know the type. There's, 100,000 of those Edith Browns writing letters right now about this awful vaping epidemic that they heard about on the news. There's several million of us. Let's get it. Let's get it. There's several million of us. We can do this. This is easy. I mean, really, it takes 1/3 of us to make that change. We just got to want it bad enough. Mm-hmm. I do. He does. She does. They do. Let's do it. Let's get it.
Yeah.
Plain and simple.
Yeah, man. Couldn't say it better myself. It's just, we all get, like how Texas Cloud Town put it on there. Like you said before, Sean, you have to have that love for vaping to defend it. And that's true. I know
it's about fostering that love.
There's hundreds of thousands of people who love this industry as much as me, Sean, everybody in chat. If we put that love we have for this industry into our voice and have the people that are making these legislations, the people that have these negative thoughts on vaping and brought it to life to them, think how many people's opinions we can change. Think how many people we can kind of open their eyes to what this industry is about and what's actually going on. It's something that, like, I know me and Sean are always going to say this, but never lose hope. There's always hope. As long as you have a voice, there is always hope.
Don't give up, No. I say it every week. Y'all know it. It's my catchphrase. Don't let the bastards get you down. I get it. I managed a vape shop. When you work in a vape shop, you immerse yourself in everything vaping. And when you do that, there are days that you feel like what you're doing is meaningless because in 6 months it's going out the window. If I gave up 6 months ago, The fuck?
Yeah.
If I given up when I thought we were going to lose shit in 6 months, I wouldn't have worked for that shop for 2 years. I mean, can't give up. Every time they push, we're going to push back harder. And we can do it. It seems deceptively easy, and it's because it is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we can all make a change. All it takes is some creative minds, and we can do some big things, you know? Go back to We Are the World from the 1980s, right? We could do that. We could write a We Are the World song and get 100 friggin' vapors that all play different types of music to get involved and make some We Are the World song and send it out to all of our politicians. Like, we could do that. Who wants to take the lead? You know what I mean? Like, that's what it takes. It just takes somebody who wants to try to do something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think we're out here doing a show about vape news? I mean, it's definitely not for ratings. We're talking about vaping. Mm-hmm. We ain't gonna get heavy airplay on YouTube. We're never showing up in the Discover tabs. Like, we're bad kids for talking about this, and it's ridiculous. And that's why we're talking about it, because we want that to change, because we want this to be considered health and wellness and not a sin, because that's what people see right now. They see this as normalizing smoking because they've never smoked, and they think that we shouldn't have an opportunity to get the relief we need without the death.
Yeah, it's time to change their minds.
That's it. That's it. This looks like smoking. I put something to my face. I blow something out. There's a cloud that comes out. It looks like smoking. So to those who don't understand what's going on, this scares them. We just got to show them health and wellness, baby.
And
health and wellness
stands for. That it's gonna be our goal. It should be everybody's goal to change the public opinion, and that's what we're gonna do. If it takes one person at a time, we're gonna do it that way. But it's one extra person that's gonna be on our side and will help us fight the good fight in the end.
Yep. I know a lot of people. Addy Tooney says it all the time. Breeze Tones parrots it as well. Make sure to tell your doctors and your healthcare professionals. Like, let them know, because they have access to both sides. So they can access the phony science if they want it, or they can access the good science. And I'll tell you what, the number of healthcare professionals, when I've brought up Royal College of Physicians, they immediately trust my word. The average person doesn't get it. Your healthcare professionals, they know who the Royal College of Physicians really are. They're going to believe that.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
And that's the God's honest truth.
Damn right. Well, we're getting towards the end here, guys. I'd like to thank everybody for coming. What's with my fucking hiccups today? Jesus Christ. Whatever, I don't know. I'd like to thank everybody who came in and joined us today. Today was just kind of a laid-back show, just kind of talk about a few things, kind of preaching the good word like we always try to do. You know, it seems like we're repeating ourselves at times, but hey, there might be one person in here viewing that hasn't viewed the show before. And if we
or maybe you're giving up. Maybe you're the one giving up today and you needed some motivation.
Yeah, that's what we're here to motivate you, to give you that extra push to do more, and that's what we strive to do every week. So again, I'd like to thank my co-host Sean for coming on with his, even though he's had a rough day, now it's gonna give him some time just to unwind and just try to relax a little bit.
Honestly, I couldn't be with a better bunch of people. I'm sorry I couldn't be in chat, guys, but I feel your presence with us, and these are the people I want to be with. You're all my family. You're the people that I genuinely love and care about. And that's why we're here.
We're here for you guys. We're doing this for you guys. We're doing this for everybody in this industry that if you're scared to have a voice, don't be. Worst comes to worst, if you don't want to open your mouth, we'll be the mouth for you.
That's right. Be the change you want to see, guys. Be the change you want to see. That's my tidbit for today. Mm-hmm. Be the change you want to see.
So a little update. There will be no What's Your Story this Saturday, since this weekend I'm going to be over in New York at MVE. So if any of you guys are going to be over in Long Island and come at MVE, me, Swaggins, Daily Vape TV are going to be there. Come find us. Come say hi. We'd love to meet you guys. We love just meet people we've talked to on the internet all the time. So I love meeting new people. I love putting a face to the name. That's what I love the most. Especially when you've interacted with these people on like Facebook, Instagram, YouTube chats. So if you're going to be at MVE, make sure to come find us. Make it a goal that just look for the dude with the long beard and the frickin' transistor shirt, because that'll probably be me.
Trust me, he gives good hugs. You need a Poonsauce hug in your life. Go get one.
Definitely. And then I think I'll actually be around for the Ohmies next week, since my flight I'll be landing here back in Chicago before 7, so I'll be able to give you guys some news of what happened in MVE. I hope so. Make sure
straight red eye action.
So make sure to go over to the Vaping with the Ohmies YouTube, subscribe. Also, if you like what you saw here, make sure to hit that subscribe button, that notification bell. I'd greatly appreciate it. Also, go out and check out the Angry Hippie on his YouTube channel. Doing a little bit of rants. He's been going off with some little bit of Angry Hippie rants. It's been cool. He's kind of moved away from the juice reviews, which he's kind of went into the more advocacy base, which I couldn't have seen a better person to start doing that. So if you have the time, go over to Sean's YouTube and give him a little subscribe and the notification bell. Also, check out all the guys in my description down below. All the Ohmies, all the guys from the Stew. Give them a follow on their appropriate channels and all their social media. And yeah, that's what we have for you guys this week. So thank you all for watching. Me and Sean are going to tell you this every single week probably, but don't lose hope. And just keep fighting the good fight. That's all we can do.
Every moment.
So stay safe out there, everybody. Have a good weekend. Have a good rest of your week. And just keep vaping, guys. That's all we can do.
That's a good vape.
Hold on, freaking delay.